They're not the typical, I guess, old white men who like to tell you, you can probably delete this, let me start over. My name is Kenzie Fitzpatrick. I shoot mostly competitive pistols. I was first introduced to shooting when I was a young kid. We grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and we used to go hunting all the time with my grandparents. They would take us duck hunting and deer hunting. So I was really familiar with long guns, but then when I grew up, maybe around 12 or 15, my other grandfather would take us out to a pond area that he owned the property, and we would shoot pistols. So that was my first introduction into revolvers and semi-automatics. From there, about 5-year gap happened. I don't know why, but it was like going off to college, not really comfortable with firearms. And I was in my graduate program at Florida State University. And I was working and I was just Googling FSU gun club. No way university would be associated with firearms, right? And I found out that we had a pistol team, and the whole rifle association also had a rifle team. So I Facebook messaged the group and immediately I had basically a spot to interview or test out my skills. So I went out to the local range and showed them what I had and I was on the pistol team. So it was really awesome. From there, I actually learned how to reload ammo. We learned a lot about competition shooting. I mean, I had no idea about, dropping magazines, running and shooting. I learned a lot, and that was actually the first time I ever shot steel. So it was really fun, and I hate paper now. So I've come a long way, but after I did the interview for the pistol team and got on the team, I Googled like competitive shooting, and within the next week I was signed up for my first GSSF match. Called up my dad and was like, "Dad, I'm doing a match, you want to come down?" He's like, "That was fast, it was like a week ago you joined the team." And I'm like, "Yeah, so I'm just gonna do it." And I was horrible, like worst shooter you could imagine. But I met a lot of people there that helped me through it. My time was probably the worst. You can go back and see those. It was like a 500 time. So to start shooting, I guess, to get involved, it really just takes the first step. Most every range nowadays has your eyes, your ears, your firearms for rent. There's really no excuse for you not to be able to go and try it on your own. Of course, that's that fear of not knowing how. My advice is to just go out there and talk to people. Most people, they're not the typical, I guess, old white men who like to tell you, you can probably delete this, let me start over. They're not the typical old white men that are gonna tell you that you're doing things wrong and wanna boss you around. They're genuine human beings that just want you to learn how to shoot and protect yourself. So my advice is to find someone or ask questions on how to shoot, watch videos, go to your local range, talk to the sheriff's office. You can do ride-alongs now. You can talk to them about how to shoot, who to talk to, but there's no excuse for you not to try, because like I said, they've got everything for you at the ranges and they're gonna walk you through it. If you have to, take a class. The worst that that's gonna do is teach you maybe you don't like shooting and you don't want to, and that's perfectly fine, but at least you know how to operate a firearm in case of an emergency, and you know the law. So why I shoot is for several reasons. My first is that my dad is my best friend, and it gives us a great opportunity to get to know each other and to spend a lot of time at the range. My dad now, for the past 2 years, has come up to Tallahassee and shot GSSF matches with me. So it's like a father-daughter bonding thing, and I wouldn't give that up for the world. I mean, so that's one why. My second why, though, is because when I was a freshman at Florida State University, I think we all have this story, but I was raped by someone, and I didn't have the opportunity to have a firearm because I was 19, of course, but I could have had one. And if I had the right training, I could have prevented that. But then fast forward a couple years later, I had a break-in. I had to pull a gun on someone. It's the first time I've ever had to do that. My apartment had 2 entrances, one in the front, one in the back, in a sketchier part of town, and he tried to come in the back door at a Tuesday at 11 o'clock at night. So I call the police, I grab my Glock. I'm crazy, but I open the front door. So he tried to get in the back door, and that's when I went to the front door with my Glock, and again, I'm crazy, but I opened the door, pulled my firearm, and found the guy in the bushes. And I told him to wait. Police arrived. They let him off with a warning. He had been in prison for 6 years for armed assault and battery, and they let him go on a warning because he was looking for his friend that used to live there, but he was banging on other apartment doors as well. If I hadn't had that firearm, who knows what would have happened. And then I think just the last reason is that it's empowering to know how, and it's something that I think everyone should try as an American because it's their right. And even if you hate it, at least you know how to pull a trigger if you need one, at least you know how to use one. So, and then the last reason is I shoot for fun. I have met like 40 new friends. I've gone to the NRA conferences now. I've gotten to travel up into different matches and just, I see the same people at every match, and they're the best human beings I've ever met in my life. So the relationships that come out of shooting, I mean, that's priceless.